in my domain, got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty, now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get set for race number 6 of Season 2 of the NNSCRA TaxSlayer Trucks Series. Getting set to go racing here tonight at what was originally supposed to be Talladega Superspeedway. Now, I'm going to throw out a bit of a disclaimer here. We are going to Talladega during the playoffs already, and I thought, why not try and introduce another superspeedway into the schedule? Maybe it'll turn out well and we'll bring it back for next year. So I decided, instead of having two times where all three series are going to go to Talladega near the beginning of the season and then, of course, near the close of the season, why not have just one weekend at Talladega at the close of the season and put us at a new superspeedway here for this weekend, which is exactly what we're going to do. So we are here at the debuting racetrack of BumpDraftin Superspeedway. This is a little over 2.5 miles in length, so a little bit longer than Daytona, and hopefully it's going to bring about some good racing here this weekend, which more than likely will play a huge factor into the upcoming playoffs. Getting set here for 30 laps of racing with E Barber lining up on the pole position. I believe this is Barber's first pole of the year, and indeed it is. So E Barber, of course, we've documented last year the struggles that he had when he drove the 3 for Michael Norman Motorsports. Now over at the 33, a little bit better of a season, not ideal, but 22nd in points coming into this race, and has a good starting track position here tonight at a track that none of these drivers have really any previous experience at. Alongside of him is going to be Patrick Smith in the 05. Smith comes into this race currently situated 12th in the points, so with a good run tonight, Patrick Smith could find himself very well up inside the top 10 in the point standings. Melody Baker is going to line up behind her teammate, the 33 and the 3, making up the insides of rows 1 and 2. Melody Baker comes into this race running very well in the point standings, 4th coming into this race. The 3rd highest running rookie, and it's been a really good start to the season for that team. So we'll see how the two teammates will do here on the start, lining up nose to tail. The points leader, Sky Commons, rolls off there from the 5th position, so it'll be interesting to see how Sky does here tonight. And we are moments away from getting the command to fire up the engines, so as we are preparing for that, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in terms of the point standings as well. I'll fill you in on why in just a moment, but for now, let's get that command.
Drivers, start your engines!
Command given, so now it's time to give you your top 10 the point standings presented by Golden Corral, and here's why I said that it's going to be very interesting to see how this track and this race plays into the current situation in the points. Sky Commons is the points leader. Second in the standings is Nathan Stapleton, 1 point back from Sky Commons, so it's really close for the points lead between the 99 and the 92. Nicholas Raill is 3rd in the point standings, 4th Melody Baker, 5th is Marty Czekala, then it's Paul Minnick, Jake Smith, Patrick Curtis, Oriole Pollard, and H Garcia. That is your top 10. Now, the reason why I said that this race is going to be very interesting in how it plays out point standings-wise, of all the drivers that have gone to victory lane so far this season here in the TaxSlayer Truck Series, all of our race winners are inside of the top 10 with the exception of one, that being PJ Williams, who comes into this race 27th in the point standings, has to be in the top 30 in points in order to get one of those playoff positions. But The other thing that's interesting is this is a super speedway. A lot of times you see the super speedways cater to the underdog or the driver struggling in points. Normally we don't have a repeat winner in the season go to victory lane at a super speedway. With that being said, we've had 6 different race winners so far this season, and remember, especially here in the TaxSlayer Truck Series, the limited number of spots there are in the playoffs, only 8 spots available. So right now, if the playoffs were to begin, only 2 drivers would get into the playoffs via being highest in the point standings. And we still got a long ways to go in this season, so there's no doubt in my mind we are going to have a number of drivers that go to victory lane this year that are not going to be able to make it into this season's chase for the championship. But it's time to go racing here tonight at BumpDraftin as E Barber gets underway. Green flag is out. Let's roll. And let's get an idea of what we can expect to see here during the course of this weekend. Already going to go 3 wide at the front of the field. Teammates Melody Baker, Easton Barber, and then Patrick Smith up top sides. They're almost 4 wide behind him there. Look at them fanning out here. 3, I can't tell if it's 4 wide. It kind of looks like 4 wide, but it's 3 wide in a way. Now it's 4 wide there, about the 7th, 8th position. Ooh, easy guys, got to give room as here comes H Sanchez to the inside for the race lead, and look at this. Oh boy, they're leaning on each other back there. That's P Minnick in the 21, H Garcia in the 51. And somehow, even with all this leaning on each other, they're going to get here and complete the first lap. But who led it? Was it Tyler Deaver or was it Melody make the H Sanchez? The scoring monitor says it was the 30 of Deaver. Now here comes Z Winkle to the bottom of the racetrack in the 90. Already mentioned that last season, both of the Flickinger Racing Development cars went to victory lane and both were in the Final Four for the championship. Well, PJ Williams has already gone to victory lane this season. Winkle is the only one of the Flickinger Racing Development cars that hasn't. And look at him get put there in the sucker hole, as it was Patrick Curtis, last time out's winner at Texas, going to the front, not for long. Henry Williams has friends on the bottom. Heather Gallant and Preston Plourd pushing him to the top position. And they are still 4 wide, about 3-4 rows deep. And it's not really a question of if, it's more a question of when there's going to be too much leaning and they're going to wreck each other. But so far, this has been pretty good racing. Up here at the front, they were 4 wide for the lead for a moment there, as Brandon Joy now going to move to the top position in the 70. Got pushed there, courtesy of Andrew Miller in the 23, and now Miller's going to go to the bottom. He's got help from Michael Whitman. They're still 4 wide. That's for about the 5th position, as now Whitman to the inside. Help from Tony Green in the 4. And you can see him there in the middle. That's Curtis and Deaver that are rubbing doors. H Sanchez, Z Winkle that are rubbing doors, but apparently they're not leaning enough on each other that it's causing any kind of issue. And look at this! Are we 5 wide? Are we 5 wide? You bet you we are 5 wide! Holy cow! How did that work? It didn't last long, but it was a thing. They were 5 wide here at BumpDraftin. And we're only 4 laps into this race already. Holy cow. There's still a long ways to go, and it's almost like it's been battling for the last lap, the last 4 laps. I think they might have been briefly 5 wide for a moment again, as Oriole Pollard, who went to victory lane at Bristol Dirt a few weeks ago, comes into this race, 9th in the point standings, looking to try and get his 2nd win of the season. One thing definitely about this system is they are 5 wide back here. They are 5 wide. Couldn't tell who that was in that mix there. It looks like Ryan Brommer, H Garcia, Patrick Smith was in that. They settled it back out to 4 wide, but they were 5 wide there at the back of the pack. And they almost fanned out 5 wide here, right in the middle of the field. But going back up here to the front, what I was going to say in regards to Oriole Pollard and a number of the other drivers who have gone to victory lane this season, it's almost with the fact that there's so many limited spots, 8 positions available in the playoffs, as Ryan Acosta takes the top position away from Joseph Romero, and now here comes Wyatt Walker to the bottom. If you get a 2nd win this season, it's almost like a guarantee you're going to get into the playoffs, as they were 5 wide again there for a moment. Z Winkle was able to get back down to the bottom for 4 wide, but this is some doggone good racing, let me tell you what, and I'm pretty happy that they decided to make this change on the schedule. I mean, Talladega, no doubt, gives us great racing, but a great opportunity for this track to showcase what kind of racing it brings to the table, and it's been anything but dull since the drop of the green flag. Now Zoerlein, Jake Moss, Ricky Cervantes, Wyatt Walker were 4 wide for a moment there for the race lead, and that's going to be the inside line prevailing at least this time for Jonathan Zoerlein. Now here comes Alex Hawkins in the 7. His teammate Brandon Joy was up here at the front not too long ago, and now looks like Hawkins may lead that lap, or did Tyler Deaver play spoiler again? Nope, that time it was Hawkins leading that lap, and now Deaver back to the front. Z Winkle going to try and take second place. He was in a 5 wide situation about 2 laps ago. And look who else is on that inside line there, the 92 of Nathan Stapleton. Remember, we mentioned only 1 point separation between himself and Sky Commons for the points lead coming into this race. Also bear in mind, Stapleton has a win this season, Commons does not. J Lagasee there in that 0-1 on the inside, leading the group towards the front, including Patrick Curtis and Nick Johnson there in the 41. Nick Johnson trying to make it into the playoffs to defend his championship from last season, but he comes into this race 33rd in the points. Only 1 top 10, that top 10 also a top 5, but aside from that, not exactly a whole lot to talk about for that driver out of Thor Sport, as he's starting to make his way to the front. He's bringing the pole sitter with him. E Barber kind of faded back at the start of the race. He's now marching back to the front, pushing the defending champion and another former winner from this season, M Czekala, who went to victory lane at Las Vegas. Now he's up there inside the top 10, that 3rd car on the inside line. Patrick Curtis trying to go back-to-back, a 2-time winner last season in the Pizza Hut X Series where he went back-to-back. Trying to go back-to-back here. Oh, we got trouble! 1 car around the middle of the field. That's the 29 of Isaac Nichols. And I think he might have saved it, but it will bring out the caution for the first time here tonight on the completion of lap 8 onto lap 9. It looked like, for the most part, everybody avoided. The 29 went up the racetrack into somebody. I couldn't exactly tell who. If I wagered a guess, it looked like it could have been the black and green car of Alex Hawkins. And then it looked like after that contact, he got the thing straightened out and kept going. There's the 29. And there's the 7 back here. I almost think that maybe the 7 straightened him back out. We may have gotten away with something there. I mean, 4 wide all the way through the field, and only at the most 2 cars or 2 trucks get damaged in a wreck. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And now the pace car has picked up the race leader, which is Patrick Curtis. We're going to stick here with the leader just for a moment because this track, similar to the configuration lengthwise as Daytona, I'm not certain they were able to make it the full 30 laps on 1 tank of fuel, and this is going to confirm my assumption that they all are going to come to pit road here under this yellow flag. So, with that being known, we can now step aside, take a look at a replay of what brought out the first caution of the night here at BumpDraftin after some really exciting racing for the first 8 laps. Let's see what happened here. They were 5 wide again, and this time they couldn't keep it together. I don't know if Nichols went up or if Paul Minnick in the 21 came down. And you saw right there, Nichols went up and did get the 7 of Alex Hawkins. He went up and brushed the wall, not once but twice. Oh, and then hooks Nichols up into the wall, and Jonathan Zoerlein in the 88 also got a little bit of that as well, as he was kind of blocked up there. Oh, and then more contact. Okay, so I thought the 29 had been able to save it, but apparently the 7 of Hawkins was continually up on his right rear, and it ended up actually continuing to turn Nichols up and into the wall. And then drifts down and is able to continue on. Fortunately, that happened up near the top of the racetrack, so just about everybody was able to get by on the bottom, and so we didn't really get anybody else involved. So for the most part, 3 drivers got a piece of that action: Nichols, Hawkins, and Zoerlein. But after the 4 wide and 5 wide situations we've been seeing here at the beginning stages of this race, I could definitely say we got away with one here for our first caution. Pace car has made the left-hand turn to pit road. We're ready to go back racing here. You see the lead is cycled now around to the pole sitter Easton Barber after different drivers with different varying strategies. Barber, the race leader. Second place is going to be J Lagasee. The green flag's back in the air. Harrison Ponder third, Nick Johnson fourth, and Nathan Stapleton in fifth. The driver that came into pit road as the race leader, Patrick Curtis, restarting back in the 7th position. Now, with that caution coming out, it kind of took away any idea we can have of what the fuel mileage is for these drivers, of how far they can make it concerning the fuel window. So now the question is, with them restarting with 20 laps to go, do they have enough fuel to make it these 20 laps, or did we just see the first of maybe 2 pit stops these drivers are going to have to make during the course of this race? Nick Johnson out front for a bit. Now Nathan Stapleton takes the spot, and there's a car, looks like coming to pit road. I couldn't tell who it was. It was a yellow truck. That's A Garcia and Michael Whitman, the 51 and the 53. And this makes me wonder one of 2 things. Either one, they didn't get their trucks completely full of fuel, or number 2, they're expecting that this thing's going to go green to the end and they're going to have to make one more pit stop. So maybe, just maybe, with them pitting the way they are, all these other drivers could be anywhere 1 to 2 laps short on fuel. Oh, look at Patrick Curtis up there. I think he tried to make a 4th line against the wall. Nobody went there to help him, as now Michael Haas will take the spot. One thing about it, too, with the fact that this the system with the cautions is, when the caution comes out, pits are open. Next time around, we go green. And as a result, you saw some stragglers back here. Alex Hawkins in the 7, Nichols in the 29, and Jonathan Zoerlein in the 88. They spent a little bit of extra time on pit road getting damage repaired, and as a result, were not in with the field when the green flag came back out. There is Ace Garcia, and there is Michael Whitman. Now they are hoping that this thing is going to cycle around green all the way to the end, and that all these drivers that you're seeing here on your screen will not be able to make it the rest of the scheduled distance on the fuel in their tanks. Only difference is, with pitting as early as they did, those 2, Garcia and Whitman, they're not going to be in a big pack of race cars, and that's going to hurt them lap time wise in regards to all these other drivers. They could very well end up getting swallowed up if this thing continues to go green. They're entering into turn 1, and these drivers are on the back straightaway. As a matter of fact, they're very close to catching the 7 of Alex Hawkins, which, with them racing 4 wide right now, could make it mighty congested when they do catch that Mountain Dew voltage machine. Or, I'm sorry, not Mountain Dew voltage, Volt. Wrong soft drink. Oh, look out! And just like I said, there you go. Start getting wadded up in a 4 wide situation, and it may not end very pretty. Looks like they were able to approach him rather carefully. Now they all got to tiptoe their way around, both on the low and high side, as R Brommer led that lap in the 11. Not for long, it's 3 wide. Ricky Cervantes beneath him, and then below him is Brandon Joy, and now here comes Melody Baker to the bottom of the racetrack in the 3. Now if this thing continues to go green, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to catch the next few drivers. Garcia, Whitman, and then first one they would get would be the 29 of Isaac Nichols, who I'm assuming is somewhat off the pace after we saw him and Alex Hawkins make some contact with that only caution so far. We are now midway through this race, and Melody Baker now has a contingency to her inside. Jake Moss in the 24 leading that group. Harrison Ponder and the points leader, Sky Cummins, is now back up at the front of the field. H Gallant trying to make something happen there up top side, and I think maybe the 58 of Ricky Cervantes might have gotten the wall just at least a little bit. That killed the entire momentum of that outside line. as Sky Commons now goes to the race lead. Where's that 29? Oh, he is right up ahead of these leaders. They did a pretty good job getting around the slower car of Alex Hawkins. Now they're going to have to try and maneuver their way around the slower machine of Isaac Nichols, and that's a teammate right there in the 19. Jake Smith going to go to the inside, and maybe a little bit of defense being played there, but the caution flag is out. Yellow flag waves for the second time here tonight, just past the halfway point, and that's going to be a huge break for drivers H Garcia and Michael Whitman, who in the next couple of laps could have very well found themselves a lap down. Looks like we had a wreck out of turn 2. And the 11 of Ryan Brommer's coming to pit road. Quite a bit of damage on his Goodyear Ford F-Series. There's another truck there. I can't tell who that is. Looks like it might be one of the WF9 Motorsports cars. And that is H Sanchez in the 73. I didn't see a whole lot of skid marks in turn 2 when I saw the smoke lingering there, so we may very well have had, again, maybe a 2-truck incident. But Jake Smith took the race lead. He holds it over his teammate, Sky Commons, in the 99, with Preston Plourd, Tony Green, Nathan Stapleton. That's your top 5, but they may end up having to pit here under this caution to make sure they make it the rest of the way. That's indeed going to be the case. So if this thing had gone green flag to the end, they would have had to make green flag pit stops before the checkered waved. But as they make these pit stops, let's take a look at a replay of what brought out our second yellow of the evening. We're going to utilize our helicopter cam for this one since it's kind of difficult to find a camera angle to give us a good idea of what happened. Oh, wow. Yeah, H Sanchez just crowded Ryan Brommer up into the wall. That's Brandon Joy in the 70 involved. There's Austin LaPlante getting into it. That green truck back there was Ricky Cervantes in the 58. And we had seen all night long where they were leaning on each other, but being able to kind of give each other room. Not the case in this one. Sanchez hit that wall a ton. Her truck is smoking. Ryan Brommer's truck is smoking. So it looked like about 6 drivers got involved in this one, including Brandon Joy, Ricky Cervantes, Austin LaPlante, to be included in the incident. So that's what put us under the caution for the second time here tonight. Lights are out atop the pace car. It's time to go back racing. Well, 2 drivers did not pit. Guess who? Ace Garcia, Michael Whitman, the 2 drivers that pitted under the green flag conditions. So they'll restart as the race leaders. Sky Commons restarts in 3rd. Angel Olvera 4th, and Harrison Ponder was 5th. Rest of the top 10 are going to be Nathan Stapleton, Marty Czekala, Tony Green, Henry Williams, and Ryan Acosta. After our first incident, there were no drivers out of the race. Cannot be said here after our second yellow. We have 2 drivers that have retired, Ryan Brommer and H Sanchez. And we saw under that last green flag run, Isaac Nichols and Alex Hawkins both go off the lead lap. They still are. 38 of our original 42 drivers are still on the lead lap, with 40 of them still running on the track. Now, Ace Garcia and Michael Whitman both came to pit road the lap after we went back green, which, if I remember correctly, was lap 12, which means they would have to make it 18 laps to the end. Everybody came to pit road besides Whitman and Garcia under that caution. So, with that being said, are Garcia and Whitman good to go on fuel if this goes green to the end? We've had the cautions come out at rather untimely moments, so we didn't get a real good idea of what the fuel window really is. Meanwhile, Garcia, though, out in front. Battle is on for second. Ace Garcia, of course, opening up the season with a win at Daytona, so he knows how to drive these super speedways. Comes into this race currently 10th in the point standings. Last time out at Texas had a horrible run, dropped it from second in the points all the way down to 10th. Now looking to rebound here tonight at BumpDraftin. Behind him, you got Tristan Allen now battling with H Gallant for second. So far this season, 2 of the Top Gun racing drivers have gone to victory lane. Oriole Pollard at Bristol and Marty Czekala at Las Vegas. Tristan trying to become the 3rd. As now Jake Smith, who was the race leader when the caution came out, up to the second position and trying to get to H Garcia's back bumper. He'll get there, but he'll also have T Tsang to the inside. And now here comes the 8 of Matt Haas, former Hershey's Cup Series champion, making his way up to the front. Ryan Acosta now looking low to the inside in the 27. So far this season, we've yet to have a Thor Sport driver go to victory lane. They've got a number of really good drivers in their arsenal. Ryan Acosta, Nick Johnson, Jonathan Zoerlein, Austin LaPlante, Angel Olvera, but so far, team-wise, a big 0 in the win column. Preston Plourd now to the inside line. He will take the race lead away from H Garcia. Or Willie, that outside line lead seems a little bit better lined up there with Garcia, Matt Haas, and PJ Williams. Now remember, we mentioned PJ Williams coming into this race 27th in points, needs a good run to stay in the top 30 to have his win count towards a playoff position. Oh, I thought J Lagasee was going to make a peek there for the top spot, couldn't do it. And look at that, that outside line still lined up there with the 51, 8, and 10 is going to keep H Garcia out in front, at least for the moment. Thought I heard a slow truck up ahead. Patrick Smith is back here, but I think he's quite a ways ahead of the leaders, so at the moment, not going to have to deal with any traffic is this lead pack. Preston Plourd tried to make a move there on the inside, but again, there you see no drafting help for him. That outside line getting a lot better formation, which allows him to create a lot better straightaway speed. Now the inside line's working, and Preston Plourd going to lead it with Jake Moss, and here comes N Raill, former points leader, in the 54 all of a sudden finally at the front. Got a couple of the Kyle Busch Motorsports trucks up here now. The 51 of Garcia, the 54 of Raill. Oh, Raill, is he going to stick it 3 wide? Yes, he is. N Raill, a 2-time winner last season. Trying to get his first win this season. And all 3 lines going to try and out-drag race each other down this straightaway. And here comes Alexander Rowe, going to make it 4 wide for the race lead. Preston Plourd stuck in the middle with no friends. Ooh, might have been a little contact there between himself and the 54 as Rowe goes to the top spot. Help from Ryan Acosta. Marty Czekala's right there. Ooh, they're leading again back there. That's Patrick Curtis and Michael Whitman. And Alexander Rowe gets kicked up topside. Oh, look at N Raill there up the middle trying to get back to the front. Contact again between himself and Preston Plourd. They're 4 wide for the lead. Ryan Acosta going to go low and take the spot. Brief moment, they may have been 5 wide, I'm not certain, but they are for sure 4 wide up here at the front. Ryan Acosta now with the top position. Ryan having a rather interesting season. We haven't talked much about him, but he's 17th in the points, so he's not doing too badly. Been a while since we've seen Ryan Acosta in a full-time season in NNSCRA. Nice to see him back, and now he's lost the lead to H Gallant, who now loses the lead to Jake Smith, who now may lose the lead to the 2 of Harrison Ponder. This time at the line, there is 5 laps to go here at BumpDraftin, and what a race it has been. Ooh, careful! 3 Fords, 3 wide. Cummins, Ponder, Smith, and look at this! The 2 drivers separated by 1 point in the points lead. The points leader, Cummins. The second in the standings, Nathan Stapleton, now side by side for the race lead, and now Stapleton takes the spot. But for how long? Jonathan Zoerlein now to the inside. He's looking for the top position. Henry Williams going to stick it 3 wide in the 62. He's got drafting help from Oriole Pollard. Zach Winkle now back up at the front. Nick Johnson's back up here now. 4 wide for the race lead as they're going to head to the start-finish line for 4 laps to go. Oh, give room, guys, give room. Oh, that middle line, how do they keep from wrecking each other? They're 5 wide back there. Ryan Acosta right in the middle with Jake Moss and H Gallant. They are 5 wide down the back straightaway. And there they go! The points leader is upside down, Sky Commons. Marty Czekala is involved. Oriole Pollard out in front. He'll lead them back to the line, but I believe if my calculations are correct, we'll have a one-lap shootout to finish this race. This race will not end under caution. But the points leader was flipping down the back straightaway. Marty Czekala was also involved. A big wreck here in the closing stages of this race. Third yellow flag waves. It'll wave over the hood of Oriole Pollard and sets us up for what I do believe is going to be, I think, a one-lap shootout. Pits will be open next time, and then the next time by will be the white flag, and I believe we will go back green flag racing. Let's see who was involved. There's one of the drivers I know for certain was involved. Marty Czekala in the 18. Sky Commons sits on pit road after taking what looked like a rather wild ride. I can't quite tell if anybody else was involved, though. Was it really only 2 trucks? It couldn't have been. There's some cars with damage. There's a truck with some left side damage, the 19 of Jake Smith. Aside from that, it's kind of hard to see anybody else with damage. Is there damage? I can't tell if that's just the contingencies or if there's left side damage on the 43 of H Gallant. We'll get our answers, though, very easily when we take a look at a replay to see who indeed was involved. But for now, Oriole Pollard shows the way, and he'll be the one that leads us back for a one-lap shootout in just a moment here at BumpDraftin. Oh, here it was, 5-wide formation. And I think this is where the incident is going to begin. Watch carefully. Ryan Acosta. Oh, there it was. Yep, there was contact between Jake Moss and Ryan Acosta. Sent him up into H Gallant, who then went up into Sky Commons. Looks like Harrison Ponder got a piece of it. Oh, and there were some more drivers involved, too. Tyler Deaver in the 30. The 54 of N Raill got involved. He got spun out. Now look at the wild barrel roll that the 99 of Commons is taking. Let's see if we can get a better camera angle here. Ryan Acosta was indeed involved. There's some more contact for the 43 of Gallant. Looks like P Plourd might have gotten a piece of it. Maybe some contact for the 8 of Matt Haas, but I'm not 100% certain. Some pretty good front-end damage on the GameStop 2K Sports machine of Marty Czekala, and he almost backed into N Raill. But boy, a wild ride there for Sky Commons. Let's see if we can get a better camera angle. Yeah, we'll get a look from the helicopter cam as well. Watch in the middle there, the 24 of Jake Moss is going to move up just the least little bit. Right there, gets hooked in the right rear. And there they go, all up and into the wall. PJ Williams in the 10 got a little bit of damage there with the right front. Got into N Raill just the tiniest little bit. And, oh, yep, P Plourd did get also a piece of it there. He got into Ryan Acosta. Nice avoidance by Alexander Rowe, J Lagasee, Tristan Allen. And right there, boy, close call. Almost some more damage for the 54. He almost ran into the back of Marty Czekala, who was trying to get his truck refired. So that brings out the caution. It sets us up for a one-lap shootout. Don't go away. It's going to be a doozy. And apparently I was wrong. Apparently we will not get that one-lap shootout. I'm not exactly sure why. Well, all the other cautions we had, we went back green after pits were open. And the pits should have been open the last time by, and we should... Oh, never mind. Wait, oh, no, we are not going green. Okay. I thought for a moment the lights had gone out atop the pace truck, but apparently not. So it looks like this race is going to end under caution. That's rather disappointing. I thought we were going to get that one-lap shootout. So it looks like, barring any issues here, unless the lights go out atop the pace truck here on this straightaway, but doesn't look like they're going to. Looks like Oriole Pollard will be setting up for his second win of the season, making him the first multi-time winner here in Season 2. And for a driver that came in this race 9th in points, could very well, even at this early stage of the season, be locking himself up a spot to battle for the championship in the playoffs this year in one of those 8 coveted spots during the postseason. I was going to say, with that caution coming out, it was going to be a big break for a number of drivers that had lost the draft on that last restart. Saw Patrick Smith had lost the draft, Melody Baker, Easton Barber, Paul Minnick, but not going to get the opportunity to try and capitalize on this yellow flag, as yellow is still out and the white flag is displayed over the hood of Oriole Pollard. So it looks like Pollard will win this race. Henry Williams will come away with second. Angel Olvera in third. Fourth will be Nick Johnson, and Jonathan Zoerlein will finish out the evening in the fifth position, to be followed by Zach Winkle, Patrick Curtis, Caitlin Tsang, Michael Haas, and H Garcia. Sky Commons, we saw, got involved in that wreck, and I believe has already taken his wounded race car to the garage area, as has Marty Czekala. Looks like they're going to finish in 37th or make that 39th and 40th, joining Ryan Brommer and H Sanchez. Where did Nathan Stapleton finish this race? He finishes in the 12th position. Looks like very much so Nathan Stapleton is going to be the new points leader heading into next week's race at Kansas, after we just saw the hardships getting involved in that wreck by Sky Commons. Get ready to head through turns 3 and 4. And with this being a pacing lap, these drivers can save as much fuel as they want to, so there's no doubt in my mind they will make it to the checkered flag in the start-finish line. Oriole Pollard, kind of a late addition to Top Gun racing here this season. Went to victory lane early on at Bristol in one of the dual races, and now is going to be the first driver to have a 2 in the win column. This looks like he will be coming around and take his second checkered flag of the season. Oriole Pollard under caution, unfortunately, but nonetheless, a win is a win. He'll take the checkered flag here tonight at BumpDraftin Superspeedway. And we'll wait for the entire field to cross the line, so that way the standings will be official. We basically gave you your top 10 under the white flag lap. Standings are now official. Jake Moss is going to finish in 11th despite getting hooked there. He was able to save the truck, get back to the start-finish line, and still finish in the top 15. Nathan Stapleton, who I believe is going to be the points leader heading into next week, will finish 12th. Michael Whitman was 13th. Harrison Ponder 14th, with Andrew Miller in 15th. The rest of your top 20 were Wyatt Walker, PJ Williams, Tony Green, Heather Gallant, and J Lagasee. 17th place for PJ Williams. I don't know if that's going to help him gain a lot of spots in the points, but he may increase his points position maybe by 1 or 2 spots. So he'll, I think, with that run, still stay in the top 30 in points. But we'll have to wait and see. Is Oriole Pollard, is he out of fuel? Can't tell. If he is out of fuel, then, boy, that was closer than I expected. Look on down here through the remainder of the finishing results, though, and you can see that a number of drivers finish on the lead lap, but way in the back. You got Matt Haas, Austin LaPlante, Brandon Joy, Tyler Deaver, Patrick Smith. We saw a number of these drivers up at the front of the field during the course of this race. 2 drivers finishing off the lead lap after the second long green flag run, Alex Hawkins and Isaac Nichols. They will finish 37th, 38th, and 4 drivers out of the race after 3 cautions here tonight. Marty Czekala, Sky Commons, Ryan Brommer, and H Sanchez. 2 of those drivers going to take huge hits in the points, those being Czekala and Commons. Commons, of course, came in as the points leader, and Czekala came into this race 5th in points. Both of them going to find themselves probably losing some positions heading into next week's race at Kansas. But that's going to do it here tonight from BumpDraftin Superspeedway. What a race. I can't wait to see what the Pizza X Series and Hershey's Cup Series races are going to be like. I think so far this track is putting a big smile on my face and making a clear case for itself to come back in next season's schedule with the kind of racing that we saw here tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race here from BumpDraftin. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We've shown you full finish results. These are your rookie points and your overall points heading next week's race. We finish up this weekend here at BumpDraftin. Next week, all 3 series will be heading to Kansas Speedway. So that'll be an exciting race. And until then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.